Thursday. It's my favorite day of the week. Thursday. I got a lot going on today. Appreciate y'all being patient on this one. I appreciate it. Let's get right into it. Lunch and news with DotSale. Yeah. We got a great show today. 22-year-old man going to high school again as a 17-year-old playing on the varsity team. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna go deep into that one. And then also, we got a whole bunch of stories we gotta cover. Cancellations, lawsuits, settlements, debauchery, crash outs. We got it. It's Thursday. We got a lot that we gotta get to. We got a recap. We got an update on the church leaders. We talked about that in early September. We got to get to that. If you haven't before, definitely subscribe, like, comment, share, do all those types of things with this video because, I think it's important that we continue to grow our family. I consider y'all family, and y'all are the best audience on the internet. So give yourselves a round of applause. And the numbers is creeping up too. Our numbers is creeping up slowly but surely. We getting the numbers a little bit higher. Let me get y'all fed though. I got to get y'all fed, of course. Before we get into anything else, I got to get y'all fed. That's the first thing we do over here is make sure that I'm taking care of y'all as far as food. We're going to do something we've never done before. We've never done this before. We are going to go back to the same content creator 2 days in a row. For the second time ever, we're going to go back to Andrew Bernard. I like this channel so much. If y'all weren't here for yesterday's show, y'all got to go back and watch that. Y'all got to go back and watch it. We're going to have Andrew pull up one more time on Thursday and make us some pasta. This is looking good. Let's let Andrew, we're gonna get through most of his video. Well, he got 6 minutes. We'll probably get through it in about 2. But let's look at the presentation here.
A deluxe roasted cherry tomato and garlic pasta. This recipe is creamy, rich, and a bit sweet with a touch of tangy. Most importantly, it uses basic ingredients and it's simple to pull together. Let's talk about what you're gonna need. Pasta of your choice, cherry tomatoes, a head of garlic.
His name is Andrew Bernard on YouTube. I think he got like another 1,000 subscribers over since how much was he at yesterday? I don't remember what he was at. I'll have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure he's still growing at a pretty high rate.
Garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, coconut cream, plant-based parm, fresh basil, olive oil, balsamic vinaigrette, and some seasonings to bring it all together. Let's start out by prepping some of our ingredients. First is our garlic. You want to chop the top off. This is the top, this is the bottom. Once you slice down and have all the cloves exposed, set that aside. I'm tucking mine into a ramekin for now, and I'll explain.
He's very meticulous with the way he does things. He makes things that are simple look easy, and that's what I like. That's what I like. We're going to continue to skip ahead. See what he's got to say here.
And star chef would. Even though I did just burn toast this morning. Moral of the story, no ramekin, no problem. Now, I would instruct you to pull this out and then go bake it. But that would be because I completely forgot we have some other things we want to add in here. Go ahead and add in your pepper and then your...
Yeah, very surgical
not
the way he operates.
I'm saying that correctly. But
very
this blend,
surgical.
It contains things like rosemary, oregano, thyme, marjoram, lavender, just a really good savory combination that sets this whole thing off. Now, we're gonna bring a pot of water to a boil. This way we can get our pasta ready. You can cook according to your package instructions. I would encourage going a minute or 2 less. So
skip
we can
up a little bit. Let's get to the sauce. This is the fun part.
Add your roasted tomatoes along with the oil into the blender. Then carefully squeeze your garlic into the blender as well. The garlic will have some residual heat that can potentially hurt your fingertips if you don't allow it to cool a bit. So be really careful. Follow this up with coconut cream and then blend until smooth. If you're allergic to coconut, no sweat. You could follow this up with, I say, like a oat milk, or you could do soy milk too, which is a little thicker. But I would probably also recommend something like cashew cream, which I
like cashew milk. I like rice milk. I think soy milk is probably my least favorite of them all. What do I usually get? I think usually I get oat milk. Oat milk's the one I usually get.
maybe 5 minutes. Reason number 3, everyone knows about caramelized onions.
And he goes into a
I
lot of
toss in
detail.
all of my pasta. Simply stir, and this is gonna get everything.
Let's get to the
coated in that
presentation.
cream, one of those sleeper pastas that look like ordinary spaghetti, but really, you're about to blow some minds. This full recipe can be found linked in the description, or
Yeah, you can find, he gives you all of his recipes and everything like that. Shout out to him. He made it on the show twice. Andrew Bernard is his name. Over 500,000 subscribers. You can go check him out. I think he's got some good stuff over there. We'll probably use him again in the future for sure. But, absolutely. And he is feeding us this. Where'd it go? We got it right here. So we got some good pasta. Go ahead and go over to the pot. Go over to the pot and help yourself. Absolutely help yourself to as much as you would like, because we take care of each other over here. We are a family over here at Lunch and News with DotSale. Absolutely. All right. We got a lot to get to. We have a lot to get. Let's go off color. You know what? I want to talk a little bit, though. I was thinking, before I do any of these shows, I always I gotta have my routine before the show comes on, and I'm always thinking before the show about what's going on, and I do that usually in the shower. I always take a shower before the show, and brush my teeth, just get really cleanly, wash my hair, do all that type of stuff. So I come on here and I'm feeling fresh and energized for y'all, because I know that y'all are watching me through a screen from some other place, but I think about it as if y'all are family. I think about it as if the audience is in the room with me, like y'all are in the room, so y'all are feeling the whole ambiance. I try to create a whole ambiance when I make these shows. So I really, really treat it like I'm doing this in front of a live audience, right? And I try to make it as interactive as possible. And as we continue to grow, we'll continue to have more interaction from the chat and different things like that. So what I did was I was listening to, and then I always got my cologne on. Today I'm going Burberry Hero. Put a little. I go one more. Got the Burberry Hero on. This is nice. It's not the most expensive cologne, Burberry Hero. You think Burberry is really expensive? It's not. I think this was probably maybe $180 for the bottle or something like that. But I like to just have. I like to feel right in here. I might start lighting some candles or something like that. I might forget that they're on though and burn the whole entire place down. So I don't know. We'll figure that one out. But I was in there and I was listening to, because the government shutdown is a huge thing right now, and I was listening to the Democrat side in the shower, and then the video ended and went over to the Republican side. So I was listening to both of those, and then I was just like, what is going on with these people? They are completely on the opposite sides. They're both radical on both sides. There's no compromise between these people. And now we have a government shutdown in America, and there are people suffering from it, and we all just pay our taxes, man. We just need y'all to figure it out and find a solution that helps the American people and not your egos. So, as I was listening to that, I was just like, what are we doing with people in the way that they look at others, that they feel like they're below them, right? Because that's what I'm seeing. Nobody necessarily is caring about the people at this point, right? And we're just seeing that far too often. So for me, talking about the whole government shutdown and that whole situation is just something that I'm not even interested in even worrying about. And I think that everybody that is hyper focused on this, don't let it stress you out, right? Don't let it stress you out. Don't let other people and their foolish decisions stress you out, right? Because I just think that that's the goal of a lot of these people, is to just scare us and on either side and make it a lot more difficult for us to think in a rational way. And that is how they create different situations for us to divide among one another. And us as a people, we need to come together and fight against this tyranny. And, you know, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I was listening to it and I just thought it was ridiculous. So, you know, but the reason why I'm not covering it is just because of that, right? I just think it's nonsense on both sides. And eventually they'll get to an agreement. But right now, you know, they're not thinking about us. So, but I want to do this show a little bit differently. Oh, do we have, hold on, let me check this real quick. Hi, everyone. High Value says, hi. How does a grown adult make himself a high school student nearly a year, you're saying? A little typo there. I don't know. We're going to get into that. That's going to be our final story. Maybe, I don't know. I got about 4 or 5 stories before we get to that. So just enjoy your pasta. We're going to get to that. But I do absolutely think that there's a balanced set of blame to go across, because you're going to see a lot of people blaming the superintendent specifically, but I don't really think that it's all on the superintendent in this situation. And we're going to break down why. First, though, I want to get into just a lot of stories that were kind of catching my attention that I think are interesting. But I first want to start with a follow-up video. And I think we can go into it. I want to start with this follow-up video of Michelle Brennan. We talked about this back in September. I mean, we're newly in October now. Actually, I got the video queued up right here. If you remember, this was early on when we first started the lunch and news with DotSale. And you'll see it right here where we were talking about it. Church leaders arrested. The credit he deserves. So we communicated about this. Right, though. So if you want to have an update on this, other than the update we're going to provide now, you can go back. I'll actually link this in the description so you can check it out later. And what I'll try to do is timestamps for everything, because we're going to be bouncing around. So then, you know, if you're watching this on the playback, you can kind of just get to where you want to get to. Let's get to the follow-up on this story, though. She was let out of jail.
News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news coming from the federal courthouse in downtown Detroit. Michelle Brennan, the church leader charged in a forced labor scheme, has been allowed out on bond. Brennan is charged along with David Taylor in a money-raising scheme that allegedly netted millions through forced labor at call centers.
You might remember she was arrested in Florida and then extradited back to Michigan and is now free on bond as her case is progressing. Let's get out to Noelle Friel. Noelle, has she left the courthouse yet?
Yes, she just left a little bit ago. She came out and we tried to ask her some questions. She did not answer them, and she turned around and went right back into the courthouse. Here's that moment for you. Your attorneys say that you were under David's control. Is that right? Is that accurate? Do you have anything that you want to say? Anything about the punishments? The government says you were the one to give them out.
I'm gonna have to give an L to the news reporter. Your flanking job was terrible. You didn't even let her fully get outside. Now, if you look at the doors right there, they got that no re-entry sign, like you can't get in. So all you had to do was allow her to fully get out the door first. Just hang around outside the court. She got ADHD or something going on. She was just way too hyper in this situation. Just had to try to get her. It don't even look like there's any other reporters there like waiting. So you had all the opportunity to wait dormant until she got down those steps and then get her. But you didn't even let her get fully out the door, so she was able to retreat. and get back into the courthouse where it's looking like you can't follow her and record. That's why you're standing outside on the easement where it's public property and you can record anyone. And she was able to retreat back without even getting her face on camera. So I'm going to have to say L for this reporter in this situation. On a side note, could have let her get out, let the door close. She'd have had no retreat there. And then you could have peppered her with questions all day long. So, yeah, that's not okay by the reporter. We could have got her in 4K and I would have had a screenshot of her face over there in the corner. But nonetheless, let's see what else they got to say.
And so there was that moment for you. A judge upheld Brandon's bond, meaning that she'll now be allowed to be on home incarceration while she awaits trial. And she'll be staying, at least for now, at an apartment paid for by church members. Her bond address is an apartment in Northville that Brandon's attorney says was leased by church members for her to stay there. The judge gave her 30 days to find someone else who is not affiliated with the church to pay for that apartment. In court, prosecutors described her as the lieutenant general to David Taylor, saying that she is the face that victims saw every day and the enforcer who dished out punishments. Prosecutors allege that even though the call centers have been shut down, the church is still actively raising donations that she could be given access to. The judge disagreed, saying that her bond conditions, which include having no contact with church members, GPS monitoring, as well as computer and cell phone monitoring, will all be enough to ensure that that doesn't happen. Meanwhile, David Taylor, who is the founder of this church, is still in custody, and he's awaiting extradition here to the Eastern District of Michigan. We'll stay on this and continue to keep you updated on the latest in this case. Reporting live.
Yeah, you got to be better reporter. But besides that, so she was basically the house nigger, right? She was like, you know, back in the slavery days, they had the slave master, which was, let me find him real quick. Where he at? Here's Rolls. He was the master right here. This guy, the guy that's still in prison right here. And she was the house nigger right here.
You're a racist.
Hey, look, because that's what it was. They said she's the face that everybody's seen. The reporter said that she's the face that everybody's seen. What they say that?
And so there was that moment for you. A judge upheld Brandon's bond, meaning that she'll now be allowed to be on home incarceration while she awaits trial. And she'll be staying, at least for now, at an apartment paid for by church members. Her bond address is an apartment in Northville that for her to stay there. The judge gave her 30 days to find general to David Taylor, saying that she is the face that victims saw every day and the
Yeah, she was the face that victims saw every day. So basically, you know, she was the one that was right there, you know, acting out. And yeah, it's like reverse. Like usually it was a white person that controlled the black house Negro, but she's like the white woman negress. I don't know. What do you call that? And but obviously the black dude, he's still in prison, and they both should still be in prison right now for what they did. Allegedly, assuming that is true. If it's not true, then they should both be released immediately. But it's not looking too good for these two. But they are being helped out by the church and by the community in large, to the point where she's going to be staying in a luxury apartment on house arrest during her imminent trial. Now, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. And I'm thinking that, you know, they're putting her up in this apartment so she does not snitch. I don't think they want her to tell. So they're like, look, we're going to take care of you while you're over here on bond. We're going to need you to keep your mouth shut and not say anything. And she hasn't took a plea deal yet. So it looks like she's holding strong and definitely representing her church the way that they want her to. And the corruption that is in the church, some of them, is at an all-time high. And we can cover many of these stories, but I definitely wanted to follow up on this one because I do say I'll follow up on these stories. This is breaking news as far as her being released on house arrest as she awaits her trial. And I'm assuming that he's going to try to be the next one released. So that is the update for that. And we're going to continue to talk about some more stories. I wanted to talk about the Xbox situation kind of jumping around a lot. I want to talk about the Xbox situation. I'm a gamer. I am a gamer. I like to play video games. I have all the video games. I got an Xbox just sitting over here right outside of frame. Now, me personally, I am not a fan of subscription services. Like, even at a point where if it's a subscription service, I don't like being nickel and dime. I just like to know if I do get a subscription, I just pay the whole fee up front. Usually you get it at a discount, $20 a month. What would that be? Let's make it easier because my math is like at a first grade level. Let's go $10 a month. What would that be? $120 a year? $120 a year. Usually it'll say, you just pay us up front. We'll do it for $99.99. They take off that penny to make it seem like you're not paying $100, but then taxes hit you and you're like, damn, it's like $107. And then so I'll usually do that if I do have to do subscription service. I don't want $10 coming out of my account every month if I can prevent that. But what Xbox decided to do, and we'll look here at a upset gamer, is they said, you know what? We're gonna raise the price. Everybody's saying lower the price. Lower the price. Please lower the price. Please, please, please. I need to play my games. Xbox said, hell no. We're raising the price and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Xbox said you're going to love it. No, it said you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to take this. You're going to take it. Take it. Take it. Let's see what the gamers got to say. They're not happy. They're not happy.
Hey Phil, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. I can imagine you're probably not having the greatest day today. And this is probably one of the reasons why. We're going to add a little bit to that pain for you by also cancelling our subscription. We're going to turn off the auto renew. Or we could cancel now. Should we cancel now? Should we cancel now completely and get a partial refund? Well, it's a good thing I'm still playing Exhibition 33. But yes, we're going to cancel the subscription on the 12th.
Did he cancel now? Oh, you ain't go all the way, bruh. You still playing your game. You over here whining. But you ain't even got the balls to cancel now. Xbox just bent you over and you said, I'm gonna take it a little bit longer. I got a Stockholm syndrome. I can't take it.
21st of October because of your prices, baby.
He waiting until the 21st of October.
Hey Phil.
He just praying that something. He just praying they reverse course before that 21 of October comes. Because this guy's gonna absolutely renew his contract and he's gonna go completely silent. If you was really about that life, you would cancel immediately. Right away. That's what I think. I think so. I've never, ever paid for Xbox Pass subscription. Not even when it was $60 when it first started. Not even when it was $9.99 like 5 years ago. And then it continued to raise up. And like just last year, it was $17.99. Then more recently, it was $20. Now it's $30. $30 for Xbox every year. $360 a year. Damn, did I learn math that quick? That is crazy, y'all. That is crazy. Because if you think about it, at $360 a year, I mean, let's say you play an average of 3 games a year, which would be reasonable for a grown adult, depending on the type of games you're playing. And if you want to fully complete the game and all that, a game could take you a solid month or two. Like I'm playing through the Metroid Prime series in anticipation for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to come out. And, you know, I'm playing the game in small doses at this point. And that's on a Nintendo Switch I could take with me anywhere. Like later on, I got to do volleyball at a high school. We got to talk about that. And I'm going to be doing the warm-ups for the volleyball game. I'm going to be playing on my Nintendo Switch. Completing the game a little bit here and there. I might be playing the Nintendo Switch while I'm doing this live stream. When the videos is playing, I might be over here off to y'all be seeing me looking off to the side. I be playing Switch. I love games, but I'm not gonna cave into these companies not like that. Not for the subscription service for the most part, but I do have like a couple of them. I stopped my PlayStation one because they raised the price. I never had an Xbox before. I do pay for the Nintendo subscription that gives their all their retro games and stuff like that. And I don't feel good about that, honestly. And if they raise the price on that, I'm done with Nintendo as well. I am leaving Nintendo. Absolutely. So I hope they don't raise the price, but they will. And then that'll be that. And then I'll have to stand on it. But my thing is this. The Xbox website has begun to crash because so many people are starting to actually cancel their subscriptions immediately. So you can see it here. Wario64, a very prominent gamer, ex-Twitter guy. I keep up with his content. And he said that the website is overloading because they raised the price up $10 and it's unaffordable to most gamers. And you can see it right here where GameStop actually begin to troll them and say, you know what? We still got it for $19.99 over here at GameStop. Come pull up. And they continue to troll where they come here. Oh, real quick. No, they got it right here. Game Pass, $29.99 every month. Own nothing. These companies want you to own nothing. But GameStop said, that's not us. That's not us. Come to GameStop where we can offer you. You bring your Xbox in here. You said how much you pay for your Xbox? You paid $749 for it because they raised the price on the Xbox. That's how much the Series X at the highest capacity costs right now. It's like $799, $749, something crazy like that. We've covered it before. Xbox, you go in there with that same console you just bought for $740. You can go in there with the receipt, said I just bought this for $749 like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm hard. Now I'm down bad. My rent's due. I need to get my money back. Can't return it to the store. Xbox will say, all right, you know what? We got you. We'll give you $39 and you can get an Amiibo. We'll throw an Amiibo in there with it. $39 and an Amiibo, and we'll take your Xbox off of your hands and then subsequently list it for about $689 as like a 5% discount off of the store price as a brand new, basically slightly used Xbox. So here they are continuing to troll them. And, GameStop always has fun with these situations. So shout out to GameStop. I don't know. They're like one of the last companies that are still somewhat nostalgic for us, as you see a lot of our physical media disappearing into subscriptions and digital content. And, I think it's tough. I think it's tough for all of us. So had to cover this, had to talk about this. Do we got another game? Let me see. What's this guy saying? Let's check this guy out real quick. We got audio. Let's see if he cancels immediately. Manage subscription. He's giving you the guide. Anybody that's got Xbox, if you want to join the movement, this is how you do it. Is he doing it immediately or is he waiting until the end of the billing cycle? He went to straight cancel. He's doing it. Oh no. It's on the 10th. It's good enough though. Did he actually go through with it? Hold on, man. I don't think he clicked the button though. Why the video? Hold on, stop. I'm gonna pause it right here. Look, the video got 2 seconds left. Did he actually click the button? Because usually if you would cancel, it's gonna say, are you sure? Because they don't want you to cancel and they might even offer you a deal like, we'll give you 50% off next month. I don't think he canceled it. Nah, bro. See? Nope. Nope. I'm not rocking with it. Y'all are faking these cancellations, man. A lot of these gamers can't give it up. It's like cracking the veins, bro. They can't. They say I'm gonna get this monkey off my back. They itching and shit, looking like that. What's the dude? New Jack's Pookie and New Jack said, hey, I don't know if I can give it up, man. They get all the way right there to where they're about to give it up. They about to walk in the door of the AA meeting and they just turn right around and run to the nearest crack dealer and there you go. the cycle continues. So what do you think about this? What do y'all think about the cancellations as far as Game Pass? All the prices are going up, 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 and they're never coming down. They're pricing us out. They are absolutely pricing us out. And we got to take a hard stand and stand on it. Us as the consumers, myself included, are the ones that absolutely drive the market. If 90% of the players on Xbox subscription said, you know what, we're done, they lower the price. Because I do want to quote one other thing. They said that profits are up for the platform. Microsoft, Xbox is a subsidiary. And of that part of Microsoft, profits are up like tremendously. They have that quote out there. That's a quote unquote. So what do y'all think about that? Let me know. Let me know. I want to see what y'all are thinking about this whole Xbox situation. All right. We went through some weird times in like 2020. 2020 was very strange. We had the pandemic. We had COVID-19. You hear what I'm saying to you? COVID-19. Coronavirus. Pandemic. Plandemic. Pfizer. Moderna. Don't take the jab. Medical card. Can't get on a plane. If you don't get the jab, you can't go to work. You can't do this. You can't do that. And there's still people that are running with that. There's still people wearing mask up 6 feet apart. Unless you're doing something that doesn't need it. Unless you're protesting. Or if you're here, if you're the mayor of California, then it's fine to go to dinners with. It was all weird, right? And to the point where us as YouTubers, we couldn't speak. We couldn't speak as YouTubers. And that takes us here. That takes us here. Trump. Gets a settlement from YouTube. And I'm wondering if this is going to happen blanket across YouTube for everybody that was silenced. Is it going to be a class action lawsuit now? Me personally, I don't care about it. Like whatever. I think it's all bad on every single side of it because we're seeing reverse cancel culture now as far as what they're doing. So I don't even know what's going on with all of this. If it fits your narrative, then you're happy with it. If it doesn't, you're angry. This is all just stupid. But YouTube had to reverse course and go ahead and pay Donald Trump in a lawsuit.
A legal victory and financial win for President Trump after YouTube suspended his account in 2021. YouTube has now agreed to pay $22 million to settle his lawsuit, which was filed after the platform deactivated his account following the events of January 6th. YouTube's also going to pay $2.5 million to other plaintiffs in the case, which include the American Conservative Union and Dr. Naomi Wolf.
Nearly 24 people were...
Yeah, they're going to pay Trump $24 million and Naomi Wolf, whoever that is. So, I mean, what do y'all think about this? They're retroactively coming back and saying that we were wrong. We were controlled by the government. Whatever administration was in there at that time told them not to say this. Now we have the administration that's in now saying that you can't do this. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get into the whole Netflix situation. And we're going to talk about that a little bit leading up into the story that is the high school student, our main story, our main topic. And the reason why is because, and I talked about it early on in the show, if you are just getting here, that we're just too radical on both sides. And that's the reason why I really believe that it's good that we have two sides. It goes Republican, Democrat, because if it was just one side, no matter who it is, we'd be radicalized on that one side. They have to go back and forth. That has to be Democrat, Republican every other 4 or 8 years, or else it's over with. It's over with. We'll have no type of balance whatsoever. You see right here, though. YouTube just agreed to pay Trump $24.5 million for suspending his account in 2021. he would have made way more money. Well, he probably would have made about that much money with his YouTube account. He's very popular. Facebook agreed to pay Trump $25 million for suspending him. Twitter paid to. Why is Twitter the lowest out of all of them? Him and Elon. Elon didn't even take the money, because that money's gonna go to Elon. Elon didn't own the company at that time, but I'm assuming that they're not gonna pay the original owners of Twitter. Although they're saying Twitter, so is it X or Twitter? Does that money go to Twitter, the old owner, or does it go to the new owner in Elon? Because if it's going to Elon, Elon don't even want the money. He's not even going to pursue it. He's going to take the $10 million and give it right back to Trump. They're best of friends. They love each other.
Stop.
Yeah, y'all know y'all really, really love each other. We've seen Trump running around with baby Elon. With baby X, Trump was walking over to, then y'all got into a whole lover's quarrel. You and Trump, y'all got into it. Y'all had a whole fight on your platform X. Y'all were going back and forth. And then later on, y'all were spotted together, buddy kissing again. Y'all are just in a romantic relationship, and that's fine. You know, I be having bromances too. I've had a lot of friends, and we've had bromances. We've gotten to it. We fist fought, punched each other in the face, bloody lip. Next day, we're hanging out again, playing basketball. Like, that's what bros do. It's all right. It's part of it. ABC News agreed to pay Trump $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit. 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes agreed to pay Trump $16 million for editing Kamala Harris's interview. Censorship and lies are finally coming back to bite big tech. Congratulations, President Trump. This person says. Danielle D. Sozier. I can't pronounce that. So, what do y'all think? Do I got anything else on this? Oh, we just got Trump right here celebrating with his check. AI and all that. This is from his actual account, though. So Trump trolls YouTube. I'm just reporting the news. You don't got to demonetize me. You don't got to cook and fry my channel. You know, I'm just promoting the news. If you know anything about DotSale, I am extremely balanced and I don't groupthink. I'm not running with Trump like that. I'm not running with the Biden, with the Democrats, with none of y'all, man. Y'all is all crazy as far as I'm concerned in your own right. And I'm probably crazy too in my own right. I think we all just have to figure out a way to work with one another. But I think for myself, personally, I don't care what the rest of YouTube is saying. Us as a family, we rock out a little bit differently over here. So that's what we got as far as Trump. And what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about it? I want to go into a couple other things. I want to go two more. Let's go two more before we get into our main story. What are we doing on time? We're at 38 minutes? All right, we're doing good. We usually go for, at least over an hour. So I think we're doing good. We might even just hit the hour mark exactly at this point. I don't know. I look at, so I got membership, right? I got membership. There's Costco, there's Sam's Club. They're 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it. I think Sam's Club's a little bit better than Costco. That's what I think. And this woman here, she believes that Costco is actually better than Sam's Club because she decided to pull up to Costco and do this. Very, very odd video, but let's watch it. I think we got some commentary by the person recording, so we'll let them. Y'all, you can commentate for me. I'll let you have it, all right? We like to let the people get involved. We got the audio? Oh, maybe we don't got the audio. There's no audio. I'll do it for you then. She's taking so she's filling up. She's going to the pop dispensary. Is that Country Time lemon? It looks like lemonade. And she's filling up the bottle and then filling up a huge Gatorade jug, like the ones that you see over at the football field. They sitting on a table and they got a whole bunch of small cups. And then the kids go over there and drink from it. Usually it's corrupted. Usually it's water out of a hose from some shed behind the football field. unfiltered, dirty, grimy water. The bucket's never clean. They just continue to refill it with water and Powerade and all that. So she's doing that. And you see her here with no shame whatsoever.
Oh my God, I fucking hate myself right now.
No shame whatsoever. Didn't got a mask around her chin. Didn't even decide to pull the mask up. Could at least did it like this, so you ain't corrupting. Because now you're not even thinking about the cleanliness of the actual machine, but now you might even corrupt the whole lemonade supply right there in a big jug. When you go ahead and bring it to the PTA meeting, or the Cub Scouts. She might be the leader of the Cub Scouts. She's the one that brings the snacks that she steals from Costco. She really gets probably like a stipend or some type of grant or some type of fundraiser money but she's pocketing some of that money. And then going ahead and stealing from Costco out the. Now they do say free refills. The problem is that she didn't even want to buy the cup. She technically could have just said, you know what, I'm just going to buy a large cup. It's like 39 cents at Costco. You can go there and get a whole meal at Costco. They won't raise the price of the hot dog at Costco. It's been like 99 cents since like 1978. But she said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to get this bottle that I've been drinking out of at home. I'm going to walk into Costco with it. I'm going to fill up my bottle and I'm going to pour it in there unwashed. Backwash off from the bottle from when you drank from it originally because you don't want to pour it in a cup. And then she pours it into the jug and she has no shame. Obviously being recorded by somebody no more than 10 feet away from her just watching. And we see that. Now, it gets a little crazier because I'm wondering, does this lead to this? Does this lead to this? That's a good question. I don't think she could carry the... Let's assume that she fills that whole bucket up, right? Let's assume she can fill that whole bucket up, right? You know how heavy that thing is going to be? Now, she looked like she got a little power. You know, she looked like she's not new to this. But absolutely, if she fills that up to the top, which will take probably like 25 minutes to do at the rate she's doing it. So she's here and people are just starting to crowd around and congregate and record her and put up videos on TikTok. And then she goes out to the car with no shame, right past the greeter. And then she tries to pick it up out of the cart. Yeah, she's going to struggle with that. But I wouldn't be surprised if she has an accomplice in the car and, you know, some type of son or simp or something like that to help her load it into the back of her Nissan Altima. I'm calling it. She has a Nissan Altima. So that's a good one. I ain't even think about I'm just looking at it right here, but yeah, the whole like this is a ripple effect. This continues to have. She might even ask Costco to help her load it. I could see her doing that. I could see her having Costco help her load it. All right, so but I want to see if this leads to this, right? Where we at? I want to see if this leads to this. This is a little more serious, but we got to see what's going on. Woman goes in the meltdown and trashes restaurant. Let's give credit to the content creator. Shane, 4 7s and 4 S's says, imagine working hard all your life to save up every penny to be able to buy a CC's Pizza franchise for $600,000. That's how much they cost for a CC's. You can get franchises much cheaper. You can get Subway's cheap. Subway's like $60K. You can get that for like 10%. My math's getting better as we go through the show. Then comes Shaquanda. How we know her name, Shaquanda?
You're a racist.
Come on, Shane. We don't know. Her name might be LaQuanda. Come on, Shane. This is crazy. Upset that the buffet didn't have chicken wings refilled. He's just making stuff. He don't know if that's true. Not just from this. All right. She destroys the store and calls you a racist. All right. Let's see what's happening. We'll let it play through. We'll let it play through twice. turn the volume down. If you got headphones on, I'm sorry. Jesus. Let's let it play one more time. We got a little time. CC's Pizza, huh? No remorse.
No, man.
Those are actual plates. They look like paper plates, but those are actual like glass plates. Ceramic, probably. Look at that person. And my thing is this. Look how she's taking care of herself. You think she's gonna take care of your store? You should have known what to expect there. A person like this, you just cut your losses and give them whatever they want. Just do whatever you need to get them out the store without causing all this chaos. That's it. Or you gotta slap the sonic rings out them. Because my thing is this, right? You have to figure out de-escalation. Now, there might not be anything to help this unhinged criminal at this point. Criminal. She turned herself into a criminal. Or he. I'm not really sure. Probably a woman. And, but if she was saying, look, I demand more chicken wings, man, we got them cooking for you. I know we're a pizza place. We don't even sell chicken wings here. But don't worry. We running over to the nearest grocery store. We're going to put them in. We're going to cook them up special for you. The $20 you guys spend on chicken wings to get her up out of the store without destroying everything is probably worth it, because the thing is that she's not even going to jail. They ain't even gonna, I guarantee there was no if she did go to jail, she was released immediately, and they're gonna give her some diversion program. They're gonna say she has mental health. They're gonna say she just needs to go to anger management class, and they're gonna feed her every time she goes to class, and they'll offer all kind of different benefits. And like, she's gonna end up coming out on top after all this. So as a owner, and then also, this is why people are starting to, because CC's Pizza in a lot of these places, I was just riding past a, what was it called? I just rode by it. It used to be a corner store, and now it's not a corner store anymore. It's called like Ray's Wings and Chicken. No, it was Ray's Fish and Chicken. Ray's Fish and Chicken over in the hood. It's in a neighborhood, so it's not even like on a strip. The place is in, there's nothing but houses surrounding it. It doesn't even fit in. It's just a neighborhood, Ray's Fish and Chicken neighborhood. So they open there, and this is very urban. You can even call it the hood. And they open there, and they know the demographic that they're going to get in there. They know the people that are coming in there to eat their food. It's absolutely unhealthy. It's terrible. They won't sell a single salad in there. There'll be nothing green in the store. And, you know, CC's, you know, a lot of times people go within their area to these places. So, you know, CC's knew the risk, and they knew the attitudes that they were going to get from some of the people that come in there, and they chose to still open there. So they got to figure out how to deal with this type of person, if this is the type of person they want as a customer. Because I'll tell you this before we move on, and yeah, absolutely ratchet. Absolutely ratchet is a good word. I'll tell you this before we move on. When it comes to location, that's going to be the prime thing, right? That's going to be the prime thing. So if you open up a store, you know, in the suburbs, that's usually going to be the deciding factor. But also, beyond location, you can set up an atmosphere that basically detours a certain type of person from coming into your store. And I know this because there are a couple of stores, and we have them here in Minnesota. They're called like Lunds and Barley's. They're called Kowalski's, if anybody in Minnesota knows. I don't know if they got them in different states, but I'll just use those two particularly. I actually see those stores, and I've been in them, and they're actually located in urban areas or very close to, and I don't see anybody literally at all. Like the demographic of people that are in there don't even represent the area that they're in, which is very strange. And I think it's mostly because of price. Everything in there is like 50% higher than where you can get it at elsewhere. And, sometimes you got to pay for convenience. And they wanted to get a cheaper spot, where the property value isn't as high. And, this is what they got. So shout out to them. I guess, I don't know, maybe not shout out to them, but that's what they're dealing with over there at CC's Pizza. So, but Costco's dealing with it too. Costco, do you think that woman had a membership at Costco? You think she had a membership or she just like slid in there? Because if you look at Costco, if you look at it, they actually like, you can buy from their food counter. Well, I know this is at Sam's Club. You can buy from their food counter, right? At a place like Costco. You can buy from their food counter or like their dispensary without the membership card. You don't need that. You kind of need it to get in. You're supposed to show it, but they don't really look at it like that. It's hard to enforce. You can just basically be like, I got it, or it's on my phone, and they'll just let you in. But when you want to just get their food, like their pizza, their pretzels and all that type of stuff, you don't need to show the card to buy that. So she technically could be in there without a membership card altogether. So there's that. All right, let's move on. Let's go. I got like 3 more. We're going to go one more story because I actually put this in the title, so I got to talk about this one. Carnival. Well, no, this is Caribbean cruise, but they're all similar. Carnival cruise, they get a bad rap, probably for good reason. But they decided to let an outbreak happen on their ship. Neurovirus outbreak, whatever the hell that is.
Judge my physical and mental, my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Y'all know what a neurovirus is?
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
Y'all probably do. I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe the news will tell us. Let's see.
Morning, dozens of passengers dealing with a norovirus outbreak on a Royal Caribbean cruise arriving at Port Miami earlier this morning.
Y'all are smart.
CDC reporting.
Y'all are a very, very intelligent audience. I've noticed that over time.
At least 94 passengers and 4 crew members on board. The Serenade of the Seas had the virus.
Local 10's Trent Kelly joining us live at Port Miami with the latest on this arrival. Trent?
Yeah, Alexis and Eric, right behind me, you can see that cruise ship which just pulled into port here within the last 30 minutes. The ship implementing some extra cleaning and sanitation procedures. That's after more than 90 people on board fell ill with norovirus. And now we're hearing from some of those passengers who got sick while on this cruise. A sick cruise ship returning to Port Miami this morning. At least 94 passengers and 4 crew members on board Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas falling ill with the stomach bug known as norovirus. The ship nearing the end of a 13-night sailing that started September 19th in San Diego and made stops in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Colombia before returning to Miami today. In all, close to 5% of the passengers on board and nearly 5% of the crew all getting sick.
You suddenly got kind of violently ill shortly after dinner.
Cruisers who contracted the bug recounting their experience on social media.
Today we noticed they've removed the salt and pepper shakers, things like that. Last night they were sanitizing in the casino. They were even making you sanitize your hands before you came in to the theater. So like they're all over everybody about washy and sanitize.
Anytime that you have more than 2% in a crowded area, we consider it an outbreak.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Eileen Marty says norovirus is known for spreading quickly in contained spaces like cruise ships.
Anytime that you have crowded situations and lots of eating environments and people who don't wash their hands properly after going, excuse me, to the bathroom, then you can easily contaminate surfaces that other people are going to touch.
Royal Caribbean writing in a statement, quote, that health and safety.
I got a question. I don't know the answer because I don't go on cruises. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Is there an age limit for cruises? Can you get on there as a kid? Okay, better question. What's the average age of people on a cruise? Is it over 18 on average? You gotta tell grown people to wash their hands before they eat. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised you gotta tell them. But like, really? And as a what was her title again? It sounds very, very complicated. Let me see something real quick. Infectious disease expert. That's the best advice you're gonna give? Wash your hands before you eat? You're an infectious disease expert. IDE. Tara would like that. Tara would like the acronym. Really? Really, Miss Marty? I mean, Dr. Marty. I pay like $500 to see you for like 65 seconds, and then you tell me, well, you know, if you wanna make sure that you keep yourself safe from infectious disease, just wash your hands with soapy water for about 60 seconds, and make sure that you rinse properly and dry off with clean cloth before you eat. That's my advice to you. Yes, I got a master's degree. I'm an infectious disease expert. Follow what I got to say. I don't know, man. This is crazy. Go back to where we're at.
To maintain an environment that supports the highest levels of health and safety on board our ships, we implement rigorous cleaning procedures, many of which far exceed public health guidelines. Experts say commonly cleaning surfaces and washing your hands with soap and water for at least 60 seconds are the best ways to stop the spread.
Make sure that your hands are clean so that what you're putting in your mouth is safe.
And again, another live look here at the Serenade of the Seas, which again just pulled into port here not too long ago. The passengers on board that ship right now expected to start disembarking within the next hour or so. We should tell you that according to reports, some 19 gastrointestinal outbreaks have been reported on cruise ships so far this year. 14 of those have been caused by the norovirus. For now, that is the very latest live from Port Miami.
I don't know, Lola. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the disease expert. Let me pull it back up. This is almost more interesting than the outbreak on a cruise ship. And these guys look like they got autoimmune. Listen, y'all got to be more careful. You don't want to be huddled up around a whole bunch of people that can get you sick and ultimately take your life immediately. I don't think the cruise is worth it. I don't even think cruises are that fun. But come on, man. Come on, man. Like this, and my problem is this, right? She didn't give any good advice. She gave nothing. I'm more confused now than I ever was.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Circle talk. Yoda talk. Backwards speaking. Look at her.
Infectious disease expert, Dr. Eileen Marty.
Hold on real quick. Let me see something.
Washing and sanitize.
Anytime that you have more than 2% in a crowded area.
Man, listen, infectious disease expert, cool. But I want to know that you got clean teeth that are taken care of. You know, like straight teeth. Like, I didn't need no infectious disease expert to tell me to clean. Before I get on this show, I always floss and brush my teeth. My breath's clean. You looking like you got a lot of buildup in there, teeth collapsed at the bottom. Like, you ain't even taking care of yourself. How you going to take care of us? Come on, Marty.
We consider it an outbreak.
Infectious disease expert, Dr.
But hand washing is truly the #1 way to prevent infections. There are dirty people out there. That's fair. That's fair. But as an infectious disease expert, I'm expecting this person to have something that I've never heard before, like something that she learned that's not privy to the public. Like, she's not saying anything that we haven't heard 1,000 times. All of us are forced to go through kindergarten, some pre-K, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. You hear this throughout your whole life, your parents ramming it down your throat. Then we got to get all the way to the point where we're this old. We're this old now. Now we're here. Now we're these guys.
What do you mean?
Are you just so old and ugly that you can't hear anymore?
Now we're these guys, and they still don't know to wash their hands. So my problem is like, can you give me something else? Is that the only thing that you remember from all of your years of literature to become a doctor? Come with some valuable information that we can actually use that's a little bit out. Say the hand washing part, fair enough. I agree with you, TK14. But after that, I'm going to need some expert advice. All right? And I don't know what that might be. Maybe introduce me to some like hand sanitizer that might be a little bit different than the normal stuff on the shelf. I don't know. I'm not the infectious disease expert. I am not Marty. I am not the doctor. I'm not her. She's the expert, and I'm looking to her for guidance. She's giving me none. But that's what we're getting here. That's what we're getting. So if you're on the Caribbean, matter of fact, I want to see something real quick. How much time we got? Oh, we're good. The main story is coming up. The main story is next. All right. 22-year-old high school student poses as a 17-year-old student. It's coming up next. But first, I just want to go ahead and look at the RoyalCaribbean.com page and see what you're paying for to get the neurovirus. How much does it cost to get the neurovirus? Let's say you want to go to, what are we going to? Let's look around and see what we got. Let's see some buzzwords in here. Luxury, we got 5-night, $380 per person. I want the $199 though. What should we go high or low? Let's see, what's the most expensive? We got 1,000. Let's go to the most expensive. We'll go to the cheapest one. Going around New York. I'm not trying to roam through New York waters. I cannot imagine that those waters are going to smell very good. Let me see. Let's check this one out. This one's expensive. Let's see what we got. They got zip lining in there? On the actual ship? Okay. All right. Has anybody been on a cruise? Y'all want to tell me about it? I have no type of desire to be on a cruise. This has happened more than once too. All right, room type. How much we got to pay? $2,000 for a suite? $4,200 to get the neurovirus. All right, let's see. $4,200 to get the neurovirus. You can let's see, 287 square feet. Okay. It's like the modern Titanic right here. Hope they got enough lifeboats. Let's see what else we got. 2,000. Okay, all right. So you can get on there if you want. If you're fancy, if you got it, you can go ahead and get on there for $4,263. Let's go. Let's see how much the peasants can get on for. I don't think the peasants can't afford that. Let's look at this one right here. Let's go to Caribbean. Let's go to West Coast. You can be on the shores of California. You might roll past like Malibu Beach or something. Why the price go up? Didn't y'all just say $199? Where the $199 at? Oh, they got it right here. Yeah, you can go look at some cacti for $190 a person. Round trip from Los Angeles, California. So you just basically on the shores of Cali. All right, let's see. 3 nights. Is everything included in here? I mean, it looks fun though. I ain't gonna lie. It does look fun. That's not the big ship. All right, let's book it. Room type. They still gonna get you on a suite. But if you just want to stay on the interior, What does that mean? You don't got a room? You just on a sleeping bag on the main deck, bro? Like, like what's going on? Comfortable retreat. Most budget-friendly option. All right, well, you can pay anywhere from $190 to $4,200 to get the neurovirus on the Royal Caribbean or a Carnival cruise or, anything like that. So there you go. You got the information. We got to get into the name story. I don't know how to look at this one. I don't know how to look at this story. There's a lot of blame being shifted across different sides. A lot of people are saying, hey, this isn't cool because the superintendent was the one at fault. Some people are saying the student's the one at fault. The grown man that turned himself into a 17-year-old with a fake ID, they're saying. Others are saying other things. Again, us over here, family, we don't group think. We don't follow what the news is saying. We don't follow what these people are saying. We look at things a little bit differently. I want to look at this from a whole different perspective. I do. Might anger some, might not. Some people might agree. I guess we'll find out. So I want to start by going here. And this actually ties into what we were talking about yesterday with the Netflix cancellations and how we're growing up as a society, as a community, in America specifically, but also Western countries. So what I want to do is, now we got the cool graphics and all that. We got the student right below us. This is the student right here. This person right here below me is 22 years old. But him wanted to be 17. Him wanted to go back to high school. I wouldn't be surprised if this person here didn't even go to high school when he was actually of age. Between 14 to 18, he probably didn't even go to high school. He's probably out in the streets. But he wanted to go back and relive his high school dreams. He didn't make the football team because he was too scrawny when he was 17. But he said, now I'm in my 22-year-old body and I can dominate. I'm stronger than all these young 17-year-olds at 22. So I'm going to reintegrate myself in there and I'm going to get back for everything that they put me through. Even though it's not the same students that were there when I was there, it does not matter. I'm him. I'm a kid again. So he went ahead and did that. But before we get into the news stories, and we're going to look at a couple different perspectives on this, and this is also in the state that I'm in. It's in Minnesota. It's insane. The school that he was at, I've been there before for games before. So I'm familiar with everything that's going on with the school. I want to look at this, though, and I want to see if this has anything to do with what we see going on with people actually trying to change their identities in a lot of different ways, and if we're being indoctrinated into this at a young age. Let's check this story. Let's check this video out right here. This is going to tie into the whole cancel Netflix thing that we talked about yesterday. If you want to get caught up on that, just go to yesterday's show and then zoom up to where we talked about the Netflix thing. You'll understand all that. But that ties into this.
Of course. Morgan, can you switch?
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch their piece. Now, the plan. Of course. Morgan.
I'm going to play this back because you might not have caught it on the first play. So basically what's happening here is the robot is misgendered. Now, this is a robot, all right? So I don't even know if robots technically can have genders. But again, you can be whatever you want to be, whether you're human or robot. So this robot here, right, is misgendered and he's corrected by a child nonetheless as a robot. And then he is subsequently made to apologize because he misgendered the robot. Called him, should be they. Don't call her she, don't call him he, because I'm a robot, so I'm they. I'm trying to figure it out too.
Can you switch?
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch their piece. Now, the plan. Of course.
Okay, so Nightshade says they're them. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. It's a robot. Like, I mean, what is really the problem with calling a robot they. I don't mind. I would say it. I'm not gonna call you he or them because technically you're a robot. It doesn't even matter. But the implied is that you need to be in the reality of whoever you're around. Not the reality of everything, but the reality of the person that you're communicating with. So you need to be able to adjust no matter the situation that you're in at all times. And I'm all for adjustments. I think you should always be able to adjust to what's going on because it's very important. We're going to look at this one that gets a little bit deeper into it. And this all goes into this guy down here in a vague way, possibly. But I think it has a lot to do with the way that we are being shown things. And this content creator calls this insane. We'll see what happens. I'll probably get copyrighted for this. So if you're watching this live, then you get to see it. If you're watching this on the playback and you're seeing some weird stuff happen, you're going to have to go find this for yourself later on.
It took a while, but we finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio. Is 32 Burnhill Road still the current address? Yeah. Have you been getting him fluids? If he's dehydrated, we'll need to place an IV. Have him change into this.
I don't want.
Well...
I hear someone's not feeling well. Let's take a look at the little man.
Can I please talk to you two outside? I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her chart, Bailey is not a boy. And by treating her like one, you are completely ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated. And that's not going to help her feel good or safe or calm. So, from here on out, please recognize her for who she is. And if at all possible, could you find me a non-blue hospital gown?
I apologize. There I am.
Dad.
Judge, my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
I don't have context how this scene began. We're just seeing the 1 minute clip. It could be out of context, but if that's her dad right there, then why is she the one addressing the doctors in this situation? And who is the little girl? If y'all got any more information on this, let me know. I don't have time to I'm not going on Netflix and trying to figure out this whole episode, what the episode is, and watch it in its full context. So if I'm out of context, fine. But based off of what we've seen, and I'm a person that actually doesn't believe in context. I believe that if somebody can clip you and take a portion of what you did, then that's good enough for me. And that goes for myself too. People could probably clip up one section of what I did and be like, he said this. I'll most likely stand on it. Like, honestly, because it is what it is. Context doesn't really matter all the time, most of the time to me. But why didn't the dad be the one to address the actual doctors? And why were the doctors so timid as far as they weren't even sure about the actual situation and how they should be handling this? And I want to say one thing that's a little more serious on this before we get back into just kind of the parody of all this, is that I think, especially when you're looking at how the doctors handle this and not just in society, because now you're bringing it into the medical field, right? And, you know, I know, and I'm not sure, I'm not a doctor. I am not an infectious disease expert like Marty that was talking about the cruise ships. That's not me. I just have, you know, some type of common sense, and, you know, I did okay in high school. But I am pretty sure that when you're administering drugs or treatments to people, that the gender has something to do with the way that you administer treatment to people, right? Because you can't administer a boy or a girl the same way, because girls have different things in their bodies. Boys have different things, different utensils, if you want to call it. So I don't necessarily think you can give the same treatment to either type of sex. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you say that a boy is a girl that is at an age where you might not be able to go down there and check yourself, or it's not obvious to you to know, because a lot of times when you're younger at that age, a boy could actually look like a girl and a girl could look like a boy without even just being themselves, because neither is developed. So wouldn't that be quite dangerous if the doctors didn't actually know what type of gender they're dealing with at that age? That's a little more on a serious note. Now, they're making this lighthearted and funny and all that type of stuff. I'm going to play it back because, like you said, I agree. It was very confusing. It's very confusing. So let's play it back, and they can double copyright me for this, but I think it's important that we play this back and have a better understanding of what's going on.
It took a while, but we finally found a file for a Bailey Del Vecchio. Is 32 Burnhill Road still the current address? Yeah. Have you been giving him fluids? If he's dehydrated, we'll need to place an IV. Have him change into this.
I don't want.
Well...
I hear someone's not feeling well. Let's take a look at the little man.
Can I please talk to you two outside?
Check the doctors, bruh. I'm gonna need to pull y'all outside as a 12-year-old.
I know that you guys are busy, but as you would see, if you looked at her and not her chart, Bailey is not a boy.
She's not a boy!
And by treating her like one, you are completely ignoring who she is. You're making her feel insignificant and humiliated. And that's not gonna help her feel good or safe or calm. So, from here on out, please recognize her for who she is. And if at all possible, could you find me a non-blue hospital gown?
Yeah, it's about how she feels, not getting her the proper care and treatment. Because you're not doctors, you're feeling experts. You're feeling experts. You got to make sure that you make her feel good no matter what, even if it kills her or him or they. That's what you're here for, doctors. And I'm going to need you to understand that because I'm standing on business on this, bruh. As a 13-year-old girl that didn't go to medical school, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to pull y'all to the side and I'm going to check y'all right here in the hospital in front of everybody as people timidly just look on and see the whole interaction. And my dad's right there off frame. He's right outside of camera view and he's over here watching the whole thing happen and he's understanding what's going on. I run this household. And many kids do run their household, in all honesty. And I'm not surprised at any of this. You know, for us, we always look at things a little bit differently, man. Now, some people might want me to be outraged by all this, but I think she handled herself quite well. She was very articulate in the way that she spoke. She said please afterwards. She did not cause a stir. She did not go crazy on the doctors. And the doctors, they ultimately ran off and made sure they got the correct color gown because she's not wearing blue. She's going to need pink because that's how they identify. All right. This is going to lead into what's going on over here at the high school. Loosely. All right. Because now we have this 22-year-old man that believes that he's 17 years old. This guy right here below me believed that he was 17 years old to the point where he invested in an ID that was fake and other documents to be able to put himself into a White Bear High School and even join the football team. Let's go to some of these stories. We'll go to this one. Actually, you know what? I got a couple of them. Which one we want to start with? I'm gonna start with the very first one. The very first one would be this one. And then we'll progressively go through, all right? This is the main story. So we're going to spend some time on this one.
I think the school needs to make some huge changes and they need to apologize to us and make sure that we know that our kids are safe here.
Our top story tonight, a 22-year-old man arrested after officials say he posed as a student at White Bear Lake High School. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Randy Meyer. School officials say the man used fraudulent documents to enroll at White Bear Lake High School. That's where we find our Babs Santos this hour. Babs, I think many are wondering what the man's motives were for pretending to be a teenager. Any information on that tonight?
Well, tonight, several parents expressed to us their concerns and fears that this person was at the school to exploit young girls. And this evening, those concerns are being echoed in a letter from a state representative to the district superintendent, which goes as far as to call on the superintendent to resign.
They just feel very unsafe, and they were really hurt by it. I think we'll be having some pretty tough conversations.
This week,
it's completely baffling and disgusting.
Families at White Bear Lake High School are outraged.
I cannot fathom that this happened. How did it happen?
After learning a student enrolled here is actually 22 years old, an adult posing as a child.
My first initial reaction, I wasn't quite sure what to think, because it's like, how does a 22-year-old get into school? It just doesn't seem real.
Authorities say the alleged imposter used fraudulent documents and a false identity to gain admission into the school.
People need to be aware that there is a predator, not only in our neighborhood, but at our children's school.
Now, the suspect is in police custody and barred from district property after parents tipped off authorities.
You never know who you're with. And why did this man have access to all these students?
The news is extremely unsettling for families who tell Fox 9 the fake student was on the school's varsity football team. They're now demanding the school take steps to strengthen its enrollment screening process.
Everybody is so afraid for our kids' safety. There is no explanation to how this man got into our schools. He was allowed in the locker room with the football players. He was allowed into activities with these kids. And it's just so many safeguards were missed on this. It's unexplainable to me how our kids were put in danger.
In a message
Yeah, oh, hold on, let's see.
today, the district said in part, while enrolling this individual, we followed our enrollment process, which is as rigorous as state law allows. We are continuing to investigate the situation and are working closely with White Bear Lake Police. Live tonight.
Yeah, they're working closely with White Bear Police to see what's going on. Might be, you think this is a federal issue? I think the FBI should get involved and see what's going on. Let's go to a couple other news stories and we'll discuss it. Let's see what this one's talking about.
Conduct with minors. Police now say those are all charges on the table for the grown man accused of faking his way into a metro area high school. As Jason Rantala reports, it's not his first run-in with the law.
I feel like the school completely failed our kids on this.
A letter from White Bear Lake Schools says a 22-year-old man enrolled in the high school using fraudulent documentation and a false identity. We've confirmed that man's real identity, but he's not yet been charged with a crime in this case. But he was charged with a 15-year-old girl in 2023. The judge gave him 1 year of probation, which
was sending her various images via Snapchat, including a photo of him nude. Hold on, how old was he at this time? We got the updated story with his mugshot. So this is all updating as we go on.
confirmed that man's real identity, but he's not yet been charged with a crime in this case. But he was charged with sending a nude photo of himself to a 15-year-old girl in 2023.
Okay, hold on. So 15-year-old girl. Was the girl 13 and he was 20? Or was he 20 and the girl was 15? It doesn't really matter, but it kind of does. But then he was released. Did he have to become a sexual predator? Like, as far as, because I know when you have anything to do with kids, which is the most awful crime you can do under any circumstance, then you would necessarily have to register as a sex offender, and then it'd make your profile a lot larger, preventing things like this from happening, like being able to infiltrate a high school with your actual face, right? So I wonder what the judge did with this.
The judge gave him 1 year of probation, which the court says he violated earlier this year. A spokesperson.
When you believe somebody, when somebody tells you something the first time, believe them. He just told you what he was in 2020 or 2022. He told you what he was. He said, I am a sexual predator. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get next to young women and young boys, it's looking like, at this point. And the judge gave him 1 year of probation, not even no jail time. He didn't even have to spend 1 day in jail. Not one.
Come on, man.
And he gets out, and then he He continues to progress. He says, you know what? Snapchat ain't enough for me. Nah, I don't want to do this digitally. I want to do this physically in person. I'm going to actually begin to transition into a 17-year-old. From 22, I'm going to transition to a 17-year-old. And then I'm going to go back to high school and intermingle with the kids as far as being in the locker room with the varsity team. He might even been on, no, he had to be on varsity at 17. And interact with the women, go to lunch, create relationships with all these teenagers, be right there in their circle. The teachers are there. They're seeing this going on. You're in their class. Hey, Miss Lucy. Hey, Mr. Bernard. Hey, Miss Waldo. Hey, Principal. Whatever. He's right there at 22. Nobody's wise on this at all. He's there. And then, and it goes back to what I was saying. You just said, and this is for whatever majority that agrees with the Netflix situation, which that's fine. Go ahead. I don't care. It doesn't affect me in that way. I'm just talking about it. You can take your own stance however you want to. But for those people, would it not be a bit hypocritical to demonize this person? Because all he did was say, you know what? I don't think I'm 22 years old. I think I'm 17. And I'm going to go get an ID that proves that. And I'm going to go to school with 17-year-olds. Actually 14 to 17, because you got freshmen in there. They're like 13, 14. That's what he said. That's what you just got done promoting, which was the lead up into this. You said it's okay for the boy in the hospital bed to be a girl. Okay? Your choice. Fine. I actually don't care about that. However, now you can't come back and say this isn't okay. Because when you open the floodgates, you open the floodgates. Now, if somebody's 50 and they want to say they're 70, that's fine. Somebody's 30 and they can play the part and look like they're 16, 17 and go ahead and enroll in Forest Lake High School or White Bear High School or maybe the high school that your kids go to. Well, it's fair game. If you're agreeing with the premise that is we talked about earlier.
Person with Forest Lake Schools tells me he played for the football team in the 2022 season and was a student at Forest Lake High School until 2023.
I think the people who were overseeing this issue and let this slip past, they need to face the consequences.
State statute says admission to public schools requires students to be under 21 years of age. As for verifying a student...
21 years of age? I guess no, that's the term super senior. I guess the day that you can buy liquor, that's the end of it. But you can still get in there with some Newports. You can buy cigarettes at 18. 21 years of age. So you can be 20 years old and go to school with 14-year-olds. That's blurring the lines as well. Should be 18 hard cutoff, depending on when your birthday is. But, that'll be last year no matter what. Then after that, you should have to go to, alternative school, for 18 to 21. Not necessarily going to school. And I'll take it a step further. Anybody that knows that a lot of these high schools are attached to junior highs and elementaries. Some are K through 12. Some are 6 through 12. Meaning that you could be in there with 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. Depending on how your high school set up, the middle school might be attached to the high school. They might even intermingle at bus time. Listen, I told you we're going to deep dive into this one.
A student's age, public schools may request documentation that may include things like a passport, birth certificate, health records, or affidavit from a parent. At White Bear Lake, the principal says they followed our enrollment process which is as rigorous as state law allows.
It's disgusting. I actually grew up 2 blocks that way, right across the street.
Now, State Representative Elliot Engen, who graduated from the high school, is calling for change.
So many things have to go wrong for this to occur. First and foremost, it starts at the top. Leadership needs to be held accountable. Trust that their kids, when they go to school, are going to be safe.
Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to get into the most recent one. This is the most recent one now, where they're going to actually release his mugshot. I want to lead into it. Is it this one? It might be this one. No, it's not this one. It's this one. All right. This is the most recent one as far as we know. And then I think they actually start to begin to call for the superintendent's job. But I'm wondering if the principal has just as much to do with this. I actually know a couple of principals. I might reach out and see what's going on, but probably not. I think that the principal has more of a direct line though, right? Just with me thinking about it from that standpoint. Because the superintendent doesn't necessarily go into the schools like that. Like they oversee, it's kind of similar to like the way to look at it would be like this. You got the president where he oversees the whole United States, but then you got the governor that oversees the state. And then under the governor is the mayor and then councilman and so forth. So I would actually say if it's within a specific state, it falls on the governor first. Specific city, the mayor first. And then you can start to go up from there. But I got to say that the principal probably should be under the most fire in this. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't exactly know. I'm learning along with y'all on some of this. But it makes sense to me.
Right now, the lawmaker that represents White Bear Lake is calling for the district superintendent to resign. That after discovery of a 22-year-old man posing as a 17-year-old student there. In a letter, State Representative Elliot Engen says this breach allowed the...
Yeah, Lola. They don't want to hear me say... They don't want to hear me talking about this because it's a bit uncomfortable, but I think it's more uncomfortable when your children are in school with a grown adult that is already a confessed sexual predator. I think that might be a bit more uncomfortable. But, you know, when you start to expose people, then they start to be upset. Lucky for me, I'm still relatively a small YouTuber, so I don't got to deal with a lot of pushback yet, but it'll come, and I don't mind. And personally, I think that we need to be able to have these conversations because they're important. Let's see what this guy got to say. State Rep Elliot, let's go back a little bit. Let's let him say what he had to say.
Elliot Engen says this breach allowed the man to commit illegal sexual acts against a minor, representing a catastrophic lapse in basic enrollment verification protocols. Tonight, we had our Babs Santos look into Minnesota's high school enrollment process. Babs, you also spoke with State Representative Elliot Engen.
Yeah, and he says now is the time to enhance school district verification requirements and improve resources for districts to implement robust background and identity checks. Currently, White Bear Lake High School and many other school districts require a birth certificate, driver's license or utility bill, and immunization records from enrollees. The district has said while enrolling this individual, we followed our enrollment process, which is as rigorous as state law allows. However, it admits the alleged imposter used fraudulent documents and a false identity to gain entry. Now, Engen wants all districts to have the same standards for identity verification, replacing exemptions for migrant students, and he's already having conversations about possible legislation with a handful of his colleagues.
We're going to get into the second half of this in 1 second. They tried to really gloss over the migrant student situation. Exception for migrant students. Let me play it back.
Exemptions for migrant students, replacing exemptions for migrant students. And
is that the loophole that he used? Said he's a migrant. He looked like he could be possibly like Haitian or something like that. He got the XXXTentacion locks with the gold on one side with the black on the other side. So you're telling me that if you say that you're a migrant student, that you don't have to provide the same documents as a natural born citizen or an American student? Tell me what kind of sense that makes.
Just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
This is getting deeper and deeper as we go on. I didn't even catch that like at all the first time. So my thing is this. Wouldn't you have to have more documents than a natural person? Because like for me, like I know I'm from here, so I don't really have to prove it. I got plenty of people that can vouch for me, but even then, you know, you can look back and see history from me, places I've lived. You can Google my name. I'm going to pop up. It's going to show my whole address. I could be doxxed in a second. We can all be doxxed in a second. You pull up most people's full name, it's going to pull in the first 5 Google searches. It's going to have your mom's address. It's going to have where you work. It's going to have your LinkedIn. Everything's going to be right there. Now, if you're a migrant, you're going to come in and it's going to pull up nothing. At least not from here, not from America. So wouldn't you have to have more things to prove who you are? Maybe like, you know, DNA sample, fingerprints, mugshot, facial scan. Come on, man. This is crazy, y'all. This is absolutely insane.
And he's already...
We're going to see the guy, though, now. Let's check this out. Yeah, the cutoff should be 18 years old. I agree. At 18, if you couldn't complete high school by 18, you're done, man. You're cut off.
Bye, have a great time.
That's it. You're done. You can go to alternative school. That's it. You can go online. We'll let you go online. You can't step foot on a campus at 18 as a student. You can go get a job.
Already having conversations about possible legislation with a handful of his colleagues.
I think that this is White Bear Lake potentially trying to save face and shield themselves from a lawsuit. Because if they had done everything right, I doubt that this would have happened because it doesn't seem to be happening anywhere else.
This is the suspect in a recent photograph shared with us after White Bear Lake's recent homecoming night. And from our reporting, we know he was known by students for about the last month or so as football player 17-year-old KJ Perry. But in reality, he is 22-year-old Kelvin Lubke. He was adopted from Liberia at the age of 5 and more recently lived in the area with caretakers who believe he has age dysphoria and 2 birth certificates. Lubke has previously been convicted for sending a naked photograph to a 15-year-old. Tonight, Fox 9 also confirmed that Lubke was enrolled as a student athlete at Forest Lake Area High School from January of 2022 to January of 2023. Currently, police in White Bear Lake are pursuing more criminal charges against him related to this recent fraud, forgery, and unlawful conduct involving interactions with minors. Kelsey?
All right, thanks, Babs.
Yeah. And I actually have to do this real quick because the rep is being a little bit disingenuous. Hold on, let me go back real quick.
Replacing exemptions for migrant students, and he's already...
I got a good memory. If it's one thing I got a good memory.
With a handful of his colleagues.
This is not the... Watch what he says.
White Bear Lake potentially trying to save face and shield themselves from a lawsuit. Because if they had done everything right, I doubt that this would have happened because it doesn't seem to be happening anywhere else.
I'm going to push back on that. And you know why? Because I have one story that I pulled up literally right now that I remember. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put it right here so the rep can understand what's going on. 24-year-old Venezuelan man. Strange enough, Venezuelan man. Do we got audio? I think we got audio. We're doing this live. This is live. Like, this, none of this is pre-planned. Just the outline of it. I'm gonna let this sit right here though. 24-year-old Venezuelan man, I remember this story, was arrested for pretending to be a 16-year-old high school student in Ohio, according to the city of Perrysburg police. And there was another one in California too. And I could find that probably in less time. But we'll just stick with this one right here because I remember this one is the most recent. The California one was like 3-4 years ago. And he played on the basketball team. He played on the basketball team. I remember it like it was yesterday because it was very disturbing. Very disturbing. So when a rep says this, he's got to take a little bit more accountability and do his research because he obviously did not do that. He could have did a Google search and seen how many he could have asked ChatGTP, which he probably utilizes a lot to conduct his speeches and all of his outlines. So he's going to have to say that. Now, I'm not saying that he's wrong in any of this. It should not happen. But come on, man, let's be realistic here. This is not the first time it happened, but we do see a trending pattern where Venezuelan man, and then they're saying that this guy here has dysphoria of what he believes his age is, or was he indoctrinated into this as a kid from watching certain types of programming and having people influence his life to believe that he is not exactly what he is? You know, if you grow up your whole life and they're telling you you're a boy when you're a girl, or you grow up your whole life and they're telling you that you're actually a grown man when you're a young kid, then, you know, you might have some issues there. Because our parents and the people that we see around us in social media is very influential, especially the shows that they put on the TV and let play in a recurring fashion all day while you sit there and go out to the club and party and say, watch this, little Johnny. Mommy's going to go out for a little bit. And you're out partying, getting drunk, getting high, smoking crack cocaine. And then all of a sudden you come back and your kid does not even know reality anymore. And now he's posing as a 17-year-old when he's 22 in a high school. It's crazy.
This is the suspect in a recent photograph shared with us after White Bear Lake's recent homecoming night. And from our reporting, we know he was known by students for about the last month or so as football player 17-year-old KJ Perry. But in reality, he is 22-year-old Kelvin Lubke. He was adopted from Liberia at the age of 5 and more recently lived in the area with caretakers who believe he has age dysphoria.
I'm not letting up. Nah, I'm not letting up. Watch this. I got it right here. I'm not letting up. Because I don't like when people are disingenuous. So I got the story right here. 7 years ago, this happened. 7 years ago.
Basketball team in Dallas this past
I told you I
season
remembered
turned a lot of heads. He would sometimes drop 30 or more points in a game. Turns out he really was a man among boys. Tony DeCopel has the score.
It was a year to remember for Rashun Richardson, leading his basketball team to the playoffs this winter and earning the District Offensive Player of the Year award. There was just one problem. Authorities say the supposedly 17-year-old Richardson was actually this man, 25-year-old Sidney Gilstrap Portley, looking for a second taste of athletic glory. Christopher Bayer is the principal of Hillcrest High School in Dallas.
He fooled us, he did. And it's painful to even say that because it hurts in both ways. Like
why painful?
It's painful because of the kind of slap in the face feeling. Our office staff, our counselors, everybody reached out trying to find ways to help support this student with a really horrible story.
Gilstrap Portley allegedly told officials he was a refugee of Hurricane Harvey and homeless too. Dallas School Superintendent Michael Hinojosa says in those situations, the district temporarily waives ID requirements.
He didn't look out of place.
Not out of place at all.
But after 9 months in the Dallas school system, one of Gilstrap Portley's former coaches tipped off authorities.
This was a thirst that he had, and he put everything at risk for himself and for us to live this charade.
Gilstrap Portley last walked out of school here April 25th. Now, he has since been charged with tampering with government records, a charge we tried to reach him for comment on. Now, Jeff, if he had not been caught, it appears he would have been nearly 30 years old when he graduated from high school the second time. Be interested to hear what he has to say about this. Tony, thank you.
I remembered it. So, you know, we come here and we say, well, you know, we should have been already like not understanding what's going on. And why does everybody, and yo, bro led the, hey, I'm going to give the principal though, that other school, because we haven't heard from the White Bear principal yet. And that actually goes back to the original point. I think the principal is probably the most culpable in all of this as the principal, because everything has to run past their desk. The superintendent oversees a lot of schools. The principal just oversees that one school. So them and the assistant probably should have been able to realize what was going on. But the one in California, he went ahead and led the team to the championship and all that, and was the best player on the team, obviously, because he should have been playing probably in like the NBA or something. I don't know. Like, he's a grown man at that point. Like, there's a lot of changes you go through from like 16 to 25. That grown man strength is something different. So, look, I don't really know. I'm just at a point where it's like, this is happening. We got to have a better understanding of what's going on. And it just brings a lot of things into question. And I'm not saying the superintendent shouldn't be in trouble for this, but I'm saying that only pointing to the intendant, the superintendent, is crazy. And yeah, let's do a little bit better, Elliot. All right. I think we're going to close out on that one. What do y'all think about this whole story? I think it's been like very telling in many ways of the way that we're operating. And I think this happens more than we know. I think that a lot of these people aren't caught for a lot of this. And I think when you have obvious loopholes that people can begin to use, when they say, you know, I'm a migrant or I'm a refugee and I don't have papers because they all got lost over in a hurricane or something, that you can just enroll just based off of your word, when probably about like all people are liars, then, you know, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But after all of that, we have to get to our positive story of the day. And we're going to go back to high school for this, but in much different circumstances. In much different circumstances, we're going to go back to high school in this. And we are going to see this one-armed volleyball player. She has one arm. And they hooked her up with a nice device that can help her go out there and compete. And I'm actually going to do volleyball later on today. And I play volleyball. Shout out to Tara. We play on a co-ed team. I think it's really, really fun. And I think volleyball is a great sport. I think volleyball is like for women. I know the men might be mad. Well, men can play volleyball too. I think volleyball is a woman's sport. Just like football is for men, I think volleyball is for women. I think that they are the most entertaining and the best volleyball players that there are, and it's not even close. Personally, I see some amazing women volleyball players, young teenagers, young girls, whatever. They be making some moves. I'd be like, wow, like incredible. So let's check out this story and see what we got going on.
A high school volleyball athlete. She is just one arm, but she's an inspiration on and off the court.
Yeah, Seminoles high school student Shaylee Herzl was born without a lower portion of her right arm. With help from a special prosthetic specifically meant for volleyball, the 15-year-old's bumps, sets, and spikes, they get the job done.
Can turn, and so I can pass like this. And then if I flip it, the ball can rest here, and I can throw it up to serve.
When I first saw that she came in with her prosthetic on, I was wondering how that was going to work out, but then I kind of just treated her like every single other player, and I really liked her attitude, and she ended up earning a spot on the team last year.
Well, Shaylee is using her platform to inspire others. She wants to be a figure that kids just like her can look up to, so they can also go chase their dreams.
Get it done, Shaylee. Way to go.
Shaylee.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news.
The hell is this? No, I want to stay here. Yeah. Shout out to this volleyball player. I think that she's an inspiration to everyone, that you can do anything that you put your mind to. There was actually a guy that was possibly going to get a 2-way contract in the NBA, and he's a one-arm basketball player. His arm stops about like right here. And this is one of those situations where it's like, what is your excuse? Because I don't really think about it from a standpoint of, okay, well, you know, it's so hard and I'm the victim. I think about it like, just do the best you can with what you have. And a lot of times we're not doing that. We're too busy complaining rather than being active and trying to do the best we can in our situation. And because of that, you really just stunt your growth. She could have whined and complained and said, oh, I can't do it. I got one arm. But life is going to continue to go on no matter what. So how are you going to choose to live your life? Are you going to choose to live it whining and complaining? Are you going to stand up and enjoy the experience and get through the hard times to try to get to the better times? I think this is a perfect example of that. And I'm absolutely inspired by this volleyball player in high school doing it the right way at the right age and continuing to give inspiration to everybody that's around her. And shout out to all of her teammates as well that are there supporting her and being great human beings to this young lady. Great job, excellent job. And let's keep it up. Let's absolutely keep it up. I hope that gets you off to the rest of your day on a good note. I hope you enjoyed lunch today. I thought it was really good. I only got to taste it, so I'm actually gonna go get some now before I gotta get out of here. I appreciate y'all. I gotta go though.
I love you.
I didn't want to do that one. I want to do this one. I do love you though, just not in that voice. I'm not gonna say I love you. That's the simp I love you. Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants. Nah, I do love y'all though. Like I think y'all is family. I really do. I really do. And that's why I come here every day to spend the afternoon with y'all. Make sure you're taken care of. Till next time. DotSale out.